So hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to use this set of dotting tools and what kind of patterns you can create with these tools. Let's get started. And if you see, I have prepared the sheet with some lines and some grids here. This is not absolutely mandatory, but certainly a structured approach to start learning. Now, what is first important for dotting is the right consistency of the paint. Now, to show you the right consistency of the paint, this is how I can show you. This is neither too thick nor too thin, but a creamy consistency. So if you can manage to have your paint in this creamy consistency, it's going to be very easy for you to start dotting and continue dotting. Now I'll show you how to dot with this biggest dotting tool in the set of 8 I showed you a while ago. Now what you need to do is, you have some paint, acrylic paint in this paint pot, and I have the tool as well. You only have to dip the tip of the tool into the paint, not the entire tool. I'll show you how. See, this is the tool that I have. I dip only the tip of the tool, and if you see, the paint has come to the tip of the tool. Now remove the pot. Gently press against the paper. I'll show you again. Now, depending on the amount of paint that you pick up, the size of dots may vary. Now, if you closely look at the two dots that I have produced with the same tool, this is smaller and this is little bigger. That's because for this dot I picked up a little amount of paint. For this it was little more. I'll show you again. Same tool, the first dot. Now I'll pick up more paint. Now I'll dot. Now look at the size of the dot. I've taken the same paint, same tool, but the size of dot differs. So with every tool that you will use in dotting, the size of the dot will differ based on the amount of paint that you pick up. Another thing is, for few people, what they generally do is, this is a mistake that as a dot painting artist, generally people make. They pick up the paint and then they press it so hard against the paper. And when they pick up the tool back, the dot doesn't come so nicely if you look at here. The dot doesn't come so nicely. So what you need to do is, you don't press the tool against the painting surface so hard. Instead, pick the paint and gently press against the painting surface. Just a gentle press will be more than enough. So this is how you need to use the tool. Pick up the paint and press it against the painting surface. So just to differentiate, I have taken the second biggest tool in that set of 8. Now I need to show you another thing. So here I pick up the paint once and I dot here. Now if you want to make another dot, you have to pick the paint again. But without picking up the paint again, if you try to dot, I'll just show you how it works. No, it smudges actually. The dot doesn't come so nicely. However, let me show you an example where I'm going to pick up the paint every time I want to dot. So I picked up the paint, dotted once. I'm picking it up again and dotting again. See, now the dots are much better than earlier. So among the set of 8, we have used this green and yellow. So I don't call the tools with the size of the tool and instead with the color. So this green and yellow tool is over. Now I'll show you what size of dot this pink tool produces. The size of the dot gradually decreases. This is the first biggest, second biggest and the third biggest tool. For someone who is very beginner to a dot painting technique, I would suggest you draw lines like this and take each and every tool and create at least 10 dots minimum for you to practice dotting. Let me show you that. The more you dot, the more you practice dotting, the more you get expertise. See, it's like this that you need to do. The more you dot, the more you practice, the more you gain expertise. And this is how I want all the beginners to practice. So at least 10 dots. Now I have dotted 7 times. This is 8th, 9th dot, and the 10th one. So by the time you place 10 different dots with the same tool, you would have certainly gotten a hang of how this tool works. This is the 5th tool in that set of 8. This is the 5th tool in that set of 8. Let me dot with this now. So as I say, practice at least placing 10 dots with every tool in this set so that you know what is the size of the dot that each tool produces. In the set of 8, there are 5 colored tools and 3 plain tools, and I call this as plain big, plain medium and plain small. Now I'm going to show you how to dot with this plain big tool. You can see the size of the dot this plain big tool produces. See, gradually it gets smaller. The first 5 colored tools produced pretty much bigger dots. This is the plain medium tool. If your acrylic paint is really thick and you're unable to dot with it, you can use pouring medium to thin the paint. And if your paint is too watery, then you can use gel medium. This is the plain small tool. So every time you pick up a tool, please keep at least 10 different dots for you to practice. Now I'm going to tell you how to create a very simple pattern using this blue tool and the smallest among the plain tool. I'll keep one center dot now, and around this main dot I'll keep 8 small dots. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. We will repeat this pattern here, and I'll tell you one small tip to get the outermost smaller dots in a circular shape. One center dot. If you want the outermost dots to form a circle around this main dot, what is most important is the spacing between the main dot and the outermost dot. So you need to be very careful when you place the first outermost dot. Leave a little space and keep the first outermost dot like this, and make sure for the further dots you will maintain the same amount of distance between the main and the smaller one. So first top dot, then at the bottom, and then at the right, and then at the left. Once you keep this top, bottom, right and left, imagine that you drew a circle around this main dot. So when you keep the next dot, if you imagine a straight line between any two dots, then the outermost dot will not come in a circular shape. So you need to imagine a circle around this. So you keep an extra distance and then keep the subsequent dots, so that it would look like you drew a circle and you dotted on the circle line. Now I will show you what will happen if you don't imagine a circle that is drawn around this main dot. I'll just show you now. I'm keeping a main dot here. So a top dot, a bottom dot, right and left. So instead of me imagining a circle around this main dot, if I am going to imagine it as a square, then it's like this. According to me, this looks much better. So it is always helpful for you to imagine that there is a circle around this main dot so that you get a circular shape like this. And this comes by practice. It's not that difficult. Now using this blue tool, I'm keeping a center dot. You can also call it as a main dot. Now using this small plane tool, I'm going to keep 8 dots around this main dot. Now I imagined one small circle around this main dot and kept these 8. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to imagine another circle around this, probably as a second layer of circle. Now between any 2 dots, I'll keep a dot like this and keep building the circle of dots. So that's it for this video. This is only part 1 of dotting patterns. Stay tuned for the subsequent videos that I'm going to make and upload in this channel. And thank you for watching this video.